Let's see how to install Docker Desktop on Ubuntu 24.04. So my web browser is already open and let's go to docker.com. Okay, just like this, docker.com. And if I hover over products, we can see here Docker Desktop. This is what we want. And from here, I'm going to hover over this option, download Docker Desktop. And as you can see, it can be downloaded for macOS, Windows, or Linux. And in this video, I'm going to download for Linux. And now we need to scroll down a bit. And as you can see, Docker for Linux can be installed for Ubuntu, Debian, Red Hat, and Fedora. And in this video, we're going to install on Ubuntu, on my system. And here is the installation procedure. So first thing we need to do, we have a prerequisite, which is the GNOME terminal. I use the GNOME desktop, so I will already have this, but let's run this command anyway, just to make sure that we have the correct terminal that we need. So let's copy this command, and let's open the terminal, and let's start by running this command. I need to type in my password. Okay, and this one is installed. And now we can move to the actual installation of Docker Desktop, and as you can see, it's made of three big steps. So the first one has actually to do with what's known as Docker Engine. That's the engine behind Docker Desktop, the one that actually does the heavy lifting. Docker Desktop itself is not much more than a GUI, a graphical user interface. But here we're actually going to install Docker. Once we have Docker installed, we can move on to the download of the deb package for Docker Desktop, and eventually we'll actually install Docker Desktop. So let's start with the installation of Docker itself using the apt repository. So I'm going to press on Control so I can open this link in a new tab, and it was opened in this new tab. And if we look at the navigation bar on the left, we can see that we are now under the category of Docker Engine for Ubuntu. So these are the steps to install Docker Engine. First, I'm going to copy these commands. So let's click here to copy them, and let's paste them here and run them. Okay, and that's it. Let's run these commands. Now, depending on the speed of your internet, it might take a bit longer or it might be a bit faster, but in any case, it shouldn't take that long. Once this is done, we can move on to installing the Docker packages. So this is what's actually going to install Docker on our computer. So let me copy this, and this, as you can see, this will install Docker CE CLI, Container IO, Docker BuildX plugin, and the Docker Compose plugin. So let's copy this command and let's paste it here and run it as well. And I need to approve, so Y and enter. And to be honest, I already did this. I already installed these packages. So for me, it's going to be a bit quicker. For you, it's probably going to be a bit of a bigger download and it will take a while, but again, nothing crazy. Okay, and it's done. And now, as they write here, we can make sure that the Docker service is actually running on the computer. And to do that, we can use the systemctl command. So let me copy this and let's paste it and run it. And we can see that for me, Docker is now active and running. Now, if for any reason it's not running for you, you might want to run this command to start the Docker service, but for me it's running, so I'm not going to do that. What we can do next is try and run an example container. This one is based on the Hello World Docker image. So let's copy this command. And by the way, to quit from the systemctl status, we can press on Q to quit. And now let's try to run the Hello World container. So sudo docker run hello world, and we can see hello from Docker. Now, the first time you do that, it will take a bit longer because it first needs to download the Hello World Docker image. It's not a big image, so it doesn't take long, but it still takes some time. And once the image is downloaded, a container that's based on this image is run, and we can see the result, and it's saying hello from Docker. And if you see this message, it means that Docker is correctly installed on your system. Now, one additional thing that I'm going to do is to add my user to the Docker group. And this is what's going to allow me to run Docker containers without using the sudo keyword, because if it's possible to avoid it, it's better. So to do that, I'm going to run sudo, and I'm going to use the add user command. So add user, and now I want to add my own user, and we have a built-in symbol for the current user, and this is the $ followed by user in capital letters, okay, just like this. So as you can see, in my case, this is my username, this is my own name, Matan. And it can be represented by this symbol, $ then user in capital letters. And we want to add this user to the Docker group. So here I'm going to write Docker. And let's run this command. And as you can see, my user is already a member of this group. In your case, it will probably add your user to this group. And another important thing, after adding the user to the Docker group, you might want to reboot your computer. Again, I'm not going to do that because, as you can see, I already did it before. I already restarted the computer, so my user is already a member of this group. But in your case, you might want to go ahead and reboot, because the reboot is when the new additions of members to groups is actually going to kick in and take effect. And after a reboot, your user will actually be part of the Docker group. So if now we run groups, I can see that my user is a member of several groups, and among them we have the Docker group. So my user belongs to Docker, which means that I should be able to run the same thing we did before, docker run hello world, without sudo. So let's try to remove sudo, and we can see that we get the same response from the hello world container. So we successfully installed Docker Engine on the computer, and now we can close this tab and get back to the steps to install Docker Desktop. So I'm going to close this tab, and step 1 is in the books. We are already done with this one. Let's now move on to downloading the deb package for Docker Desktop. So all I need to do is to click on the deb package link, and it's now being downloaded. So I'm going to stop this download because, once again, I already downloaded this file. So let's stop this one. Now I'm going to navigate to my downloads folder, so cd downloads, and let's list the files in the download folder, and we can see that, among other things, I have here dockerdesktop.deb. This is the deb package that we need to install Docker Desktop, which means that I can move on to step 3. So let's copy these two commands and let's run them here. And this is what's actually going to install Docker Desktop on my computer. And since I've already done it, it completed very, very quickly. In your case, it might take a bit more time, but it doesn't take that long. And we are basically done. We should now have Docker Desktop installed on the Ubuntu system. So let me open my app drawer, so I can click here, and look closely. What can you see here? Docker Desktop. What a nice surprise. So let's try to start Docker Desktop, and it's starting the Docker engine. Okay, and it started, and we can see that now the engine is running, which means that everything should be installed correctly. Now let's see what we have here. So here we can see our containers, here we can see our images, here we can see our volumes. So I'm not going to dive in too deeply, but let's take a quick look. So under images, for example, we can search for images to run. By the way, we also have a link here to Docker Hub, and this is like the main hub, the main repository for Docker images. So here you can look for basically any Docker image that might come in handy for you. So let's try, as an example, go back to the images tab, and I'm going to look for the Nginx image. So let's search images to run, and I'm going to look for Nginx. And here are the available results, and I want the first result, the Nginx image itself. Nginx is a very lightweight and powerful web server. It's probably one of the most popular choices for a lightweight web server. So let's go ahead and pull this image, the Nginx image, so pull. And pull is in progress. Once we have the image, we can create Docker containers that are based on this image. Okay, and the download is done. Let's close this one by clicking out of the white box. And let's now go to containers. And I want you to notice that currently we don't have any running containers. We're now going to create a container that's based on the Nginx image, and then we'll come back to this tab and we will be able to see the container here. So let's go back to images, and here I can see my Nginx image. So let's go ahead and create a container that's based on this image. And to do that, all I need to do is click on this play icon for run, and it opens this dialog box. And from here we have some more optional settings. Let's see what we have here. So first we can give a name to our container. We don't have to do that. If we don't give a name, it will use some randomly generated name. But if you want to use your own name, go ahead and provide one. We can then specify the ports we want to use. Now the Nginx image exposes the 80 TCP port, and we can choose a port from the host that will be forwarded to this port. And what this is going to allow us is to access a port on our local machine, which will be forwarded to port 80 on the container. So as an example, I'm going to write here 8080. You could provide any other port. You could also use port 80 itself. But in my case, I'm going to use port 8080, so it will be forwarded from the host to the container. We can also use volumes and provide environment variables, but I want to keep things simple, so I'm not going to do that. So let's go ahead and run the container. And the container was created, and it seems like it's now running. So let me open my web browser again. And if we look here closely, we can see that port 8080 from our host is being forwarded to port 80 in the container. And this is also a link, so we can simply click on it and it will open localhost at port 80. So let's try to do that. Let's try to click on this link, and it opened it in Firefox, and we can actually see the response from Nginx that's running on the container on our browser. We can also see some additional information about our container. So we can click on Inspect, and we can see quite a lot of information about this running container. If you're using mounts for your container, you can see some information about them here. And if we click on the exec tab, we get a shell that's running inside the container. So every command that I run here, for example, ls, is actually run in the context of the container, inside the container. So for example, here we can see the file system of the container itself. Let's try, for example, go to etc, and let's see what we have here. And these are the files that we have inside the etc folder. So let's see what information we have, for example, in the OS release file. And we can see that the container is based on Debian 13. We can also open the Files tab, and this is a full file browser that's running inside the container. So from here you can explore the files and folders that you have inside your container, and you can navigate around and open folders and so on. We also have the Stats tab, which gives us some information about the resource usage of this container.